Creighton defeated UConn 74-66 here at the CHI Health Center. I'm Jon Nyatawa with the World-Herald, here to break it down for you. Well, the Jays didn't shoot well, 6 of 20 from three-point range. They gave up 18 offensive rebounds to a team that was without its leading scorer. James Bouknight had an elbow injury, so UConn didn't have a lot of weapons or options offensively. One of its paths to victory was to crash the glass, and it did that. But yet the Jays made enough plays down the stretch to pull away and secure a much-needed victory, snapping a two-game losing streak. There was a big surge midway through the second half. I think it was like a 14-2 run, where I think you got to commend the Jays for their resolve and their persistence. Obviously, like I said, shots were falling down. UConn had some momentum. They were kind of trading baskets to start the second half both ways. But the Jays just kind of put their head down and were aggressive, going to the rim. Denzel Mahoney got a short jumper to go, and Damian Jefferson went right to the rack, got fouled, made both free throws. I think Marcus Zegarowski had a finish inside. Ryan Crawford finished 1-2 up and close, and Denzel Mahoney had that big steal and fast break layup and forced a timeout, put the Jays up 9. I just thought that their aggressiveness and their ability to sort of read the defense, a long defense, a defense that can bother you, block shots. The Jays were just they found a way kind of cleverly to get to the rim and make some key buckets at a critical time. And a couple more. I mean, they stretched it to 12 after Marcus Zegarowski hit a three with about 6.5 minutes left. UConn answered back with 2 threes to pull within 6, and you thought, oh, here we go again. The Jays have blown some leads, even double digits leads in the second half of games. But with poise, I thought the Jays had that down the stretch. Mitch Ballock went right inside and had a little turnaround jumper in the paint, and Marcus Zegarowski drove, kind of attacked the defense that wasn't quite set yet and got a layup, and then the Jays closed it out from there. So obviously, like I said, it was an important win for Creighton. A couple things to note. I thought Denzel Mahoney finished with 20 points. It's the third time in 4 games that he's gotten to the 20-point mark, and I just thought he had really good shot selection today. When UConn closed off his driving lanes, he didn't force it. He pulled it back out and got the ball moving, and he scored at different levels. Hit some 3-pointers. Obviously, he was 3 of 7 from deep, but he also got the mid-range going and took smart mid-range Jays and got inside and got a couple layups too. So I just thought he was 8 of 14 from the floor. I thought his consistency really helped Creighton because obviously there were some guys in foul trouble and they had some injuries. Alex O'Connell was I guess he was maybe an emergency only option today with an ankle, and Sharif Mitchell played, but he's still dealing with that ankle injury. So they needed that from Denzel Mahoney, and he was important. And Marcus Zegarowski too, just sort of spearheading it and leading the way. He didn't, 5 of 10, 1 of 5 from 3-point range. Not his best shooting day, but I just thought he had a good pulse of the game and good control of it. He didn't have a turnover, which was important because I think he had 5 against UConn. RJ Cole's a really good defender, and the Huskies, they know how to kind of blow up ball screens and poke at the ball, make you a little bit uncomfortable. They can get a little physical with you. And so Marcus did a good job of making good decisions and not turning the ball over. So a couple concerns for Creighton just to watch going forward. I think foul trouble is something that the Jays do have to work on. They've always been, over the last few years, really good at defending without fouling. And so, it was a little bit of a tighter whistle today, and same with the Providence game that they lost. There were a lot of fouls in both games, but they got to do a better job there because they don't want the pace of the game to slow down. They obviously don't want some of their better players to be sitting on the bench dealing with foul trouble. So that's one area of concern. And the assist rate, the Jays only had 8 assists today. And part of that is, they just weren't making shots. And when you go 6 of 20 from 3, if you make 3 more, all of a sudden that assist rate looks a little bit better. But, one of the things that Coach McDermott said, he wasn't necessarily remarking on this game in particular, but maybe the Butler game and Providence was there were maybe too many try to save the day type plays where guys were maybe just trying to do a little bit too much when all they needed to do was kind of drive, penetrate, move the defense, dish to a teammate, and let that teammate go to work and attack a defense that's still in rotation and still recovering. So there's still some work to do, obviously, for Creighton. And you know what? at some point these shots will fall. They're a good shooting team. They've proven that. They have a lot of guys on this roster that have already throughout their career shown that they can knock down open 3-pointers. They're getting good looks. So it's a rough patch, but if you're a Creighton fan, you hope that maybe they're going to be on the other side of that going here now close to February. But they're 7-3 in conference play, sitting in second in the Big East standings. So not a bad position to be, but they are looking up at Villanova, so the margin for error is very small. Up next for the Jays is Seton Hall. They play the Pirates in the second game of the season series next Wednesday. I will have plenty of coverage leading up to that game and after that game on omaha.com. And don't forget to consider subscribing to the World-Herald if you have not. That's obviously a really important thing for us and myself. And one more cool thing for Jays fans, keep an eye out. Next week, we are launching a new Creighton newsletter, which I'm going to provide weekly updates on the team with additional exclusive insight and analysis on Jays hoops. A lot of the stuff that doesn't necessarily make a story, but it's still extremely really fun to break down. And I hope to engage with you guys and answer some questions, maybe in a video Q&A format. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to adapt and evolve as the season goes on with it, but we do want to get it started and get it in your hands so you can consume it and react to it and tell me what I need to do differently, right? Always appreciate your feedback. So thank you for watching and thank you for following our coverage of Creighton basketball. I'm Jon Nyatawa for the Omaha World-Herald. Have a good one.